Hello and welcome to Extra Content Tuesday. I'm EVM and this is one of those videos where my brain just goes off on one and no one really cares, but I'm going to keep talking anyway because this is something I've realised over the last year or so after 8 years of driving electric vehicles, and it's something that's changed. Electric vehicle owners have essentially become the new vegans. Now, what I mean by that, before any vegans go, what did he say? It's not a negative thing. I've spoken to quite a few vegetarians / vegans over the last week about this, and they kind of agree with me. You see, it's the sort of thing that they tend to not admit to, or at least bring up, unless somebody asks them. You know, like, oh, we're going to a restaurant, where should we go? Well, I'm vegan, so, oh, I didn't know you were vegan. And that's usually because, according to them at least, well, it just brings up lots of preconceptions, misconceptions, and ultimately a lot of questions that you just can't be bothered asking, or answering rather, for the 15th time. Oh, do you not like meat? Ooh, are you an animal lover? Are you environmentalist? All the sorts of things which I'm sure you get time and time again. Well, being an EV owner is essentially like that now. There's an element of preconception, shall we say, that goes with it. I remember when I got my first one back in 2015, if you brought it up or if someone saw you getting out of it and, you know, even if you knew them, oh, is that one of those electric cars? Oh, yeah, brilliant. Oh, set off. Oh, it's really quiet, isn't it? Oh, that's cool. It became a point of interest. But now it's just, oh, God, do I have to answer the same questions over and over again, to the point where you just hope nobody will ask what car you drive or something like that. I mean, I don't mean me, I'm on social media, I'm open to this sort of thing, I expect it. But the amount of people I'm speaking to are like, you know what, it's just becoming a pain in the butt. The fact that you have to explain to everyone the same things over and over again. It's like, oh, batteries, you can't recycle them, can you, with your environmental car? No, you can't. You never have been able to recycle a battery. Oh, can you do more than 20 miles? Can you? Yeah. I can do like 4 or 5 hours driving on a motorway without having to stop. What do you do when you run out of charge? Same thing you do. You put more in, or you just don't move anywhere. You get my point. It's just become a point of contention almost between two sides. The anti-EV and the EV. It's like Marmite, it really does split people. And I am talking about two sides that have got very opposing views, not through reading statistics and data and studies that tell you something, but just, it's like it's an affront if you have an EV to someone who hates them and so forth. I think it's also because, ultimately, it's not just a product. It's not Apple v Android. It's something which the government are saying after 2035, if you want to buy a brand new car, it's going to have to be full electric. And because the government are pushing it, which, let's face it, I don't think anybody's a fan of, and probably won't be when it gets replaced for the next, round of Muppets, it will ultimately be something that a lot of people will be against because it comes from the government. If that didn't exist, I think it'd be just a car. Petrol, diesel, electric, which do you prefer? So that means if you buy one, if you choose to get one, then you're with them. You're evil. Eve-ill. Get it? I get that a lot as well. Like it's, new. And I don't mind if people have opposing views. That's fine. Electric vehicles are too expensive. The infrastructure's crap at the moment for most of the UK. And, they're flawed in many ways. But they suit many people, which is why the best-selling car of March of this year was full electric. It's not that they can't suit somebody, it's that they don't suit everybody yet. They're getting greener as the grid gets cleaner. They're getting greener as the battery technology gets greener, if that's your thing. The ranges are getting longer and longer in terms of the cars that are coming out. They're getting cheaper. All right, that hasn't started happening yet, but they should be getting cheaper according to the Volkswagen Group president, who said by 25-26, as in 2025-26, we should have price parity with petrol cars for the new cars we're producing. Obviously, COVID has delayed that a little bit, but ultimately, It's a case of when, not if. But that doesn't matter. If you buy one, you're a sheeple. It's almost to a lesser extent like getting vaccinated. If you have a chat with someone who's an anti-vaxxer, and I'm not going down that line in this video, but if you have a chat with them, that's it. You're a government shill, you're a sheep, you're probably now not able to have children, you're going to grow a third head, your 5G signal's going to be brilliant though. And sarcastic comments aside, it has become that, hasn't it, in terms of EV owners? It's become almost a stigma to get one. Oh, are you green and fluffy? Do you care about the environment? Are you whatever? No, I got mine to save money. That guy over there got one because he got given it as a company car. But it doesn't matter. You're pigeonholed, as humans do, into something which now has become an us and them thing. And it's just weird. Now, as I said, it is probably an anti-government thing creeping into that. Apparently they're about control because petrol cars aren't controlled in any way, shape or form. God forbid. Now, I've spoken to too many people now, and I get contacted on a daily basis, obviously, through the channel from people who are thinking about getting an EV, and it's become a bigger thing. Well, it suits us, we can afford one, charging's not a problem. I think we're ready to get an EV. I'm really looking forward to it. But then, I'm just going to get a lot of ribbing from my mates. It is literally like becoming a vegetarian/vegan, one of them, where people are just going to ask you questions and make assumptions, and that's it. You're part of that cult, almost. Now again, this is something I've had for many years. It's nothing new, and then because I'm putting myself out there on social media, it doesn't bother me at all. The amount of comments that come across as, you've never thought of. No, you're right, I've never thought of that in my life. You're the first person to come up with that particular comment. Well done, you. But there are a lot of people out there it does bother, it seems. And it is putting them off buying EVs. And it's almost become antisocial to get one because you're siding with the government, apparently. You're getting something that's worse for the environment, which is factually incorrect according to every peer-reviewed study, but that's for another video, and I've probably lit up the comment section by saying that. But you get my point. It doesn't matter what is, it's what the perception is. And it just feeds the anti-EV channels out there, the anti-EV hysteria. Because they always catch on fire, even though they're 60 times less likely than a combustion engine vehicle to catch on fire. Don't let that stop the spreading of these myths. So yeah, I'm not entirely sure where my brain's going with this one. I'm not sure even why I'm doing this video, other than I forgot to film one and now I'm struggling for content at a short notice. But it's true, it really is true, and it is something that I would normally probably discuss on a live stream or a podcast or something like that, but I have noticed a separation of groups. You're either for or against them. Very few people now get away with saying, it's just a car, I don't really care, to be honest. If it suits me, it suits me. If it doesn't, it doesn't. So yeah, are you an EV owner? Are you thinking about getting one? Does this enter your mind? Have you noticed this, if you have driven EVs for at least a year or two or three, where it's just become, even amongst family and friends at a party or wherever, where you just think, oh God, not this again. Yes, I can drive through the rain. Do you not think they've thought about this? It's England. No, you can't drive it when it rains. And people don't like being told what to do they? When, seatbelts came out, they were seen as evil, that they will do more damage to you than good. I'm not saying it's that sort of thing, but you get my point. If you're being told something, there's a natural sort of reaction to go, no, how dare you? And if you are an anti-EV person, that's fine. Again, they're more expensive than their petrol counterparts. You can't charge from home. Well, I wouldn't own one either. There's lots of flaws at present. But ultimately, why do you hate something which is just an inanimate object? It's a car. Right, well, that's pretty much it. Bit of a short video on this one, as I said. But Tuesday videos are kind of like that. More to generate a bit of conversation rather than say anything specific. I mean, do you think when it comes to people thinking EVs are about control, I'm not saying they're not, but they're no more controlled than the petrol car is my point. But do you think if electric cars suddenly went away overnight, they were banned, the government would go, oh shucks, now how are we going to control them? Maybe that's another video. How are EVs controlling us? Do you want to see that? Shall I talk about that one? next week, week after, whenever. You try and do 2 videos a week. Sometimes you struggle for content. I'm not disagreeing with that, but this is something which I think is at least interesting from an EV owner's point of view. Yeah. Pro or con, let me know whichever side you're on. Thanks for watching, I suppose. At this point, I normally say subscribe if you like this video, but I think I'll just leave it there. Bye.